Association between meatless diet and depression. Participants who excluded meat from their diet were found to have a higher prevalence of depressive episodes as compared to participants who consumed meat. This association is independent of socioeconomic, lifestyle factors, and nutrient deficiencies. When someone commits a criminal act, we always hope the punishment will match the offense. But when it comes to one of the cruelest crimes, animal fighting, things rarely work out that way. Dogfighting victims are tortured and killed for profit and sport. Yet their criminal abusers often receive a minimal sentence for causing a lifetime of pain. As technology keeps growing, political and economic leaders have utilized cinema in changing and shaping people's outlooks either for their own benefit or for the benefit of the people. Quality translations are also readily available and extremely affordable for everyone these days, which makes it easy for filmmakers to reach their target audiences from all corners of the world in their mother tongue. People in their 20s and 30s who drink moderate to heavy amounts of alcohol may be more likely to have a stroke as young adults than people who drink low amounts or no alcohol, according to a study. The risk of stroke increased the more years people reported moderate or heavy drinking. Despite many similarities with literary political debates in other nations, there are also ways in which the cultural and political situation in Scotland has left the study of Scottish literature in a significantly different condition from that of literary studies in many other parts of the world. Countries bordering the Mediterranean have built up a solid reputation for sunshine, great tasting food as well as impressive health statistics, featuring some of the lowest rates of heart disease and increased life expectancy. This has created a lot of attention towards the Mediterranean diet, which is not a typical weight loss diet, but more of a set of habits.
The graph shows the population growth in the last century. The graph shows the population growth in the last century. Experts cannot agree on a single definition of intelligence. Experts cannot agree on a single definition of intelligence. The origin of psychology can be traced back to ancient Greece. The origin of psychology can be traced back to ancient Greece. Knowledge becomes a vital role in young generations. Knowledge becomes a vital role in young generations. There is a lot more about this topic in the university website. There is a lot more about this topic in the university website. Clean water and sanitation are essential human rights for all. Clean water and sanitation are essential human rights for all. The literal output of this research is prolific and diverse. The literal output of this research is prolific and diverse. You have to submit the project by the end of the week. You have to submit the project by the end of the week. Tomorrow's lecture has been cancelled due to the power cut. Tomorrow's lecture has been cancelled due to the power cut. Please read the article that was given out yesterday. Please read the article that was given out yesterday. Take a look outside a window. What is the season where you are? How do you know? Most likely, you looked at a tree or plant and noticed details about its leaves and assessed the qualities of sunlight streaming outside. Observing the timing of biological events in relation to changes in season and climate is called phenology. When you notice the daffodil buds are poking through the snow and think spring is on its way, you're using phenology. When you see leaves turn from green to red, and watch migrating birds fly past, and realize that summer is over, autumn is here, you're using phenology. Literally meaning, the science of appearance. Phenology comes from the Greek words pheno, to show or appear, and logos, to study. Humans have relied on phenology since the time of hunters and gatherers. We've watched changes in seasons to know when to plant and harvest food and when to track migrating animals. Scientists observe and document seasonal changes in nature and look for patterns in the timing of seasonal events. Timing of these natural signs has remained consistent until recently. Increasing global temperature is causing rhythms of nature to shift. Bud burst, the day when a tree or plant's leaf or flower buds open, is occurring earlier in the year for some species. For every 1 degree Celsius rise in temperature, bud burst happens 5 days earlier than usual. Differences in timing affect not only plants, but the insects and birds that depend on the plants for food.
The sensation of fullness is set in motion as food moves from your mouth down your esophagus. Once it hits your stomach, it gradually fills the space. That causes the surrounding muscular wall to stretch, expanding slowly like a balloon. A multitude of nerves wrapped intricately around the stomach wall sense the stretching. They communicate with the vagus nerve up to the brainstem and hypothalamus, the main parts of the brain that control food intake. But that's just one input your brain uses to sense fullness. After all, if you fill your stomach with water, you won't feel full for long. Your brain also takes into account chemical messengers in the form of hormones produced by endocrine cells throughout your digestive system. These respond to the presence of specific nutrients in your gut and bloodstream, which gradually increase as you digest your food. As the hormones seep out, they're swept up by the blood and eventually reach the hypothalamus in the brain. Over 20 gastrointestinal hormones are involved in moderating our appetites. One example is cholecystokinin, which is produced in response to food by cells in the upper small bowel. When it reached the hypothalamus, it causes a reduction in the feeling of reward you get when you eat food. When that occurs, the sense of being satiated starts to sink in and you stop eating.
What is the three-dimensional shape of circle? What is the three-dimensional shape of circle? Sphere. What is the verb that means employing someone or renting something? What is the verb that means employing someone or renting something? Hire. What is the other form of water other than gas and solid? What is the other form of water other than gas and solid? Liquid/fluid. What do we say if we call brothers and sisters in a same way? What do we say if we call brothers and sisters in a same way? Siblings. How often does an annual event happen? How often does an annual event happen? Once a year/yearly. If a driver drives the car, what does a pilot do to the plane? If a driver drives the car, what does a pilot do to the plane? Fly/flies.